If you don't have more money coming in, whether it's an individual or a business, you cannot save more money and you will never have money to invest. I want to help you in this webinar, show you how to increase your income, how to find customers that will pay you more money. I want to invite you to come to my How to Increase Your Income webinar. This is the most important thing I've done in my entire career. Who does the best webinars in the world? Grant Cardone does, and everybody knows it. Guys, welcome to Power Players. Guess who I have with me today? An Italiano, first of all. That means this dude's good. You've seen him on late night TV. You've seen him with Larry King. You've probably seen him with Tony, dude. The guy's dominated TV for years. What were you spending on TV?
About $1 million a week.
$1 million a week, man. I got a new inspiration going on. So, Dean Graziosi.
Good to be here. Graziosi.
Yeah, Graziosi. I should know this better than anybody because I'm Italian. Great to have you here, man.
Good to be here, man.
Big admirer of what you do.
Same here. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, thanks. So, what are you doing today? What is Dean doing today? Because I just remembered the late night dude in the car talking about something about real estate. I didn't quite understand what the pitch was.
Yeah, so what we've really done is taught people who've been dying to get in real estate their whole lives or thought about it and didn't have an access, didn't have an entry point. So we've evolved now. We have multiple masterminds. We have masterminds all the way up to $100,000 a year on the highest level. But really what we've done, what I've done over 20 years is teach the average person how to get into real estate, doing single family homes.
Yeah.
I love what you do with multi-units. I own multi-units.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just want to buy one house a month or 6 a year. And that's what we did. So
Why would anybody want to do that, though?
What's that?
Why would anybody want to do that?
Well, because think about where you are, right? Think of the natural evolution.
No, but I did the one house. I did the one house.
But that's where you started, right? And a lot of people do want to start. They want to flip. I mean, right now, Realty Track says the average flip in America is $60,000 a house. So a person who's making $80,000, $90,000 a year flips one extra house a year, makes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. That's a big shot in the arm for them.
Yeah.
And you get some players that just want to do 2 houses a year for the rest of their life, and we support them.
Yeah.
And then you get the players. You got your guys. I watch them. They're amazing what you've done for them. You just sparked. You gave them the spark and the tools, and then they freaking take off, right? So we've gotten, we got our players that want to flip one a month, one a year, and some that want to flip 40 a month.
Yeah, right.
So we facilitate and help educate them along the way.
So let's go back to how'd you get on this path, man? Who'd you start out as the little guy, right?
You
didn't come out and start out in infomercials at the age of 6.
No, hell no. In high school, 15, I started cutting firewood. Mm-hmm. So I'd hustle firewood. Had the football
up in
team,
New York,
upstate New York. Yeah. So then I was double dipping. I learned how to double dip really quick. It was a time when real estate was booming. So I'd charge people to clear their lot. And then I take that wood, split it, and sell firewood. But then I got in the cars. My dad was in a collision shop, so I started fixing cars. And then I had an auto sales, started selling.
Brothers,
cars.
sisters?
Sister, a little bit older, 4 years older.
Yeah.
And
your dad was a hustler? Or
yeah, he was a hustler.
Middle class?
Yeah, kind of lower middle class hustler. Worked his ass off. Just
Right.
didn't know how to get momentum.
Right.
He was born during the Depression, so he had that do it himself. Never used the bank.
Right.
Don't hire anybody to mow your lawn. He'd mow his lawn. He'd work all weekend when he could be out hustling something else. Right. So I kind of noticed those little traits at a young age and just started getting momentum. I mean, you know the story of every entrepreneur. I failed miserably a bunch of times.
Yeah.
My dad went through a divorce. I didn't go to college. This is a story I just
told.
You
regret not going?
No, hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
All my buddies that didn't go were like, yeah, I should have gone. Like Rocco, the kid that was using the restroom in there. His dad's telling him to go. I'm like, I said to his dad, you didn't go. Yeah. He's like, yeah, but he should go. I said, well, how would you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
somebody said you missed the party experience, but I was hustling by then, making money. I used to go visit colleges and have fun. I just went to work the next day. But like 2 years out of school, I was working with my dad at his collision shop. He went through like his 3rd divorce, which was tough for him, and he just checked out of life. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm giving up on the collision shop. I'm giving up on my house. I'm gone, and he disappeared. So I
physically left.
Yeah, physically left. He ended up.
How old were you?
I was probably 20. 21 or 22.
Still at home?
Still, no, I had a little apartment.
Okay.
By then, I bought my first apartment house, and I remodeled one apartment at a time. I was living in one of my own apartments, so I had a 10-unit apartment house. And so he left. He closed the collision shop. I moved all the tools out. Just told this story at Tony's event 2 days ago. I moved the tools out, and there was a little barn on this 10-unit apartment house. There was an old garage in the back. I put a wood stove in it. I put the tools and the compressor in, and I started working on cars one at a time. And one of the things I think, because I watch you talk about this too, and really your transparency helps more people than you probably realize, dude. I mean it.
Thanks.
I obsess on seeing who's really making an impact, and you are.
Yeah, thanks.
But so I remember at that moment, and maybe somebody watching you were there, or maybe you're there now, but I was embarrassed as shit. My father let the shop go. I move in this old beat up garage. In fact, I think it's in that, we had a picture. I just found this picture the other day. That's why I'm talking about it. And not that I need it now, it's all right.
I want to see it though.
All right, yeah.
Now I'm down to see it.
Yeah. So I move in this freaking garage. All my friends are off in college.
Oh, wow.
I worked on one car at a time out of that garage with a freaking wood stove. And it was one of those moments where you're like, is this as good a life? Like, maybe I should have went to college. I'm not that smart. You know, I want to be, and I remember because my mom worked a couple of jobs to make nothing, $90 a week.
No, show it, Johnny. That's what I wanted. That's why I gave it back to you.
Yeah,
Johnny.
that's the actual.
Think, Johnny.
Yeah, that's
Johnny,
the actual.
Come on, man. You don't have to go to college.
Let's see, can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You did? You went to college, Johnny? See, proof right there, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to go to college. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so.
Now, what is that picture of?
That was a picture in '98 I took of when I did my first infomercial. I took a picture by that garage, right? But I worked out of that barn, and then I went back and started hustling one car at a time, just had a different mindset, started following people in my little town that had money, and it was Joey Noto and Dominic Affuso. Everybody in my town was Italian. I grew up, I thought everybody was Italian. And I started modeling.
Everybody is Italian, man.
Yeah, exactly, or want to be, right?
Everybody's Italian.
So I started hustling more cars, and then the collision shop my dad lost. I went to the lady, it was Mary Lopresti, and through knowing how to persuade, but I did it in the right way. I got her to sell me the building with no money down. I moved back in it. I called it Dean Collision Center and Dean Auto Sales, and I started hustling cars, fixing cars, and then I just started doing real estate at night. And I got 1 apartment, 5 apartments, 20 apartments, 40 apartments.
So, dude, when did little 6, 7, 8-year-old Dean?
Yeah.
Did he have that kind of thing going on?
Yeah. It doesn't matter what drives you. Like, whatever drives you. If you're in a painful place right now, let the pain drive you. You know this, right? I mean, but people think, like, my pain was watching my mom struggle. Like, we lived in a trailer park, and my mom would come home at 9 o'clock every night. I missed her. And then she'd come home, she cut hair, so she'd stand up all day, and at night she'd go clean houses. Yeah. So she came home, she was wiped out. So my inspiration at 7 to 17 was freaking retiring my mom, which I did by 25.
Totally understand that.
I retired her when I was 25, 26 years old. Took care of my grandma too, so that was my motivation. And then all of a sudden you get that out of the way and you find a new one. And you find, sometimes you're running away from pain. Sometimes you want to run towards that, the next jet. It's like it all, whatever inspires you, you just got to use that as momentum. So I think the 7-year-old was just someone that wanted to have control. Yeah. And my parents, they were really good at.
Were they struggling? I mean, could you see the struggle with the money?
Yeah.
Even before 10.
Yeah. And it wasn't, when you're in it, you don't really know anything different. I didn't know a better life. I just know that they always worried about it. Yeah. And we were always moving, and we'd move out of a place and do it. And they weren't able to come to my games.
Kids know everything, dude.
They do. Like
my kids know it. They're picking up everything. Why were you guys arguing?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I didn't even know you heard us.
Yeah, everything's okay.
Did you see me hit her? I didn't. So but they pick it all up, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I grabbed all that, and I just saw that their biggest worry was money. I mean, money, I've been obsessed with wanting to be an entrepreneur since little because I just wanted to get money out of the way. Like, if I get my mom money, she could be better. She'd quit smoking. I remember thinking, I'm not shitting you, 9 years old. If I hated that my mom smoked. And I said, man, if I could get money out of the way, she won't stress about money. She won't have to work so hard. She'll stop smoking.
You thought she was stressing out and used the cigarette.
And probably you said it was probably 9 or 10, and I knew for a fact if I get money out of the way, I could stop her from smoking. So
I always knew that I'd watch my dad. My dad had control.
Yeah.
And he also had the money. So I thought, whoever has the money
got the
decides where we go, decides what we buy, and decides how long we stay. And that's what I didn't want the money. I wanted the control.
It's funny you say it because I go through this exercise in my book of this 7 levels deep to figure out why the hell you do anything you do. And when I went through it for the first time 10 years ago, it was I wanted to be in control. because my parents got married 9 times when I was a kid. I moved 20 times by the time I was 19, different stepbrothers, stepsisters. Shit was never in control. So I'd move into a new neighborhood with a cul-de-sac. My stepdad buy me a bike. I liked my stepdad, good dude, new school, feel great, and come home, mom says we're leaving. It's like, I didn't like that shit. It's like the way I live now, I don't want anybody to tell me where to live, where to park, how to dress, how to talk, when I show up, when And not because I'm a control freak. It's just I was so out of control as a kid that's my driving force.
Well, are you a control freak?
Nah, not really. Not too bad.
I mean,
if you ask Jeremy, you might say
Jeremy, is he a control freak?
Not too bad.
Dude, I'm definitely a control freak. I love control. Because I tried the out of control thing.
That doesn't work so well.
It's terrible. It's awful. So all you guys out there, I hate control freaks because you don't have any control. Hey, but you got control. You got control to stay right there. Give me 1 minute. We're going to come back with Dean. He's going to talk about how he got on TV and started spending $1 million a week.
Was getting a degree in college not all it was cracked up to be? Has getting a degree let you down? 4 years of learning skills that don't make you any money? Promotions, raise, your paycheck. Sales is the key. Sales can open the door to all of these things. Are you ready to invest in your future? Let Cardone University open the door to your future. Grant Cardone has now made accessible years of experience into a comprehensive system that encapsulates proven techniques into an online platform. Accessible 24/7, learn at your own pace.
Look, if you're a professional and are required to take continuing education courses, my award-winning training have been approved for your continuing education credits by some of the largest accrediting bodies in the world today.
Take the step onto a new level. Achieve the goals you set for yourself and surpass all of your expectations. Go to CardoneUniversity.com and join those who have gone before you through the door of success and claim the prosperity you deserve. Cardone University.
Hey, welcome back to Power Players. This cat, okay, I thought I sold a lot of books. He sold 1 million copies of one book.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of copies.
Yeah.
Now, you gave those away? You sold them? You collected money for
Yeah,
them?
it was 19. We sold about 250,000 in bookstores and about 750,000 on TV.
So, okay, so we're going to get there.
Yeah, wherever you want.
I got it. So talk to you stumbled into the real estate game, and you stumbled in really to the no money down thing.
I did. Yeah, stumbled out of desperation.
Right?
Yeah,
it's a desperation.
So we all have different entry points. So mine was I never want to forget what it felt like to think, man, there's no hope. Like the worst feeling in this world. Even so many amazing, people that follow you, they're dying. They're living through your eyes as their inspiration, and they need it. They need more guidance, not just to. It's not when people say, yeah, you're showing what you do and all your success. It's like, man, that's the motivation. People need it to get out of their own way, right? So I mean, I love what you do. I mean, you probably. You know it, but you really don't know how many people's lives you're touching.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. We've been on TV doing this for 20 years, and the momentum builds. And now I'm like, I'll find people that are second generation that are kicking ass. But what was the question again? Because I digressed.
No, the question was,
yeah,
you stumbled in.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
It sounds like what you told me.
Yeah.
You stumbled into the flipping the cars.
I did.
Fixing the cars, and then into buying your dad's business back with no money down.
Yep. So I got
that was the gig on TV. It was no money down. How to buy a house with no money down.
The first one was no money down because my first
everybody likes
first
that
10
idea.
deals.
Yeah.
My first 10 deals, I bet you 8 of them were no money down. And I taught it 15, 20 years ago. I knocked on 1,000 doors. I just never gave up until I met someone that was in this place where they didn't know any money. Mary LaPresti was a sweet old lady, and she'd cook me Italian meals on Sunday, and I just took care of her, and I always took care, helped her move to Florida. So I just found all these different ways to cut deals up, and then in my mid-20s, I started buying raw land because I was about an hour north of the city, hour and 20 minutes north of the city. And what happened was the ring of New York City commuters, they'd go to Westchester and get a shitty little house for $700,000. If they drove another half hour to my little town of Marlboro, you get the same house for $200,000. So all of a sudden, lots in my town went from $15,000 an acre to about 70, and I just started locking up farm property. So I'd go around to the farmers, we'd talk, we'd communicate. I'm like, there's a lot of people who could sell too, but I'm from this town. I'm a hustler. I'll take care of you. I'll give you a piece of the back end. So I started locking up farmland and grape vineyards, and I hit this
timing.
And I'd love to say I timed it, but it just happened to be the time I was doing it, right?
Yeah.
So I got the momentum, and I started subdividing lots, and I think I did my first $1 million deal at 26, 27. I bought a 30-acre piece of property and subdivided, did lot line revisions, subdivided the middle, and did about $1 million.
So, dude, why not put all the attention on that rather than the books and the TV commercial? Why not just become a super freaking developer?
Yeah, well, I still do. I own hundreds and hundreds of houses. I had 2,000 of them when the market crashed.
Okay.
But I've been selling them off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still do real estate every single day. I have a whole real estate division. You know what it's like. I'm transitioning. I want to do more of what you do, if you want to be honest, because I had 2,200 single-family homes at once.
Wow.
And which was amazing because the ROI is great, but the maintenance is tough, man. And no matter how
Scaling
hard
that
we were,
business is
no matter how
2,200 closings, 2,200 loans.
It's 20 exactly, and it was again. ROI was great, but headache is too much complexity.
Yeah.
So and it's perfect timing. I bought them in 07 to 010, and I'm selling them the last 2 years.
You sell them as bulk, or do you sell them one at a time?
Sometimes I'll sell 10 to 50 at a bulk. We piece 1 or 2 off, so we're down to about 350 houses. So I'll be out of those by the next 12 months.
Yeah. Okay, so then how do you transition in the book? Like what was the first step into like I want to help people?
Yeah.
And make money helping people and
it's
build my audience
great
helping
question.
people. Yeah.
It's a really easy answer. It was Tony Robbins. I bought his course, and it made a massive impact on my life. Like huge. I was already in business, already hustling, but just sometimes you only need one little shift. If you look back at your life, it wasn't the hundreds of things. It's just you made a left instead of a right, and everything was different forever.
Right.
So
good or bad.
Yeah, good or bad.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I bought Tony's course, and I just remember thinking, wow, if this guy wasn't good at selling me.
I wouldn't have got it.
I wouldn't have got it. So sales to me have always been the greatest thing in the history of the world. Tony didn't get my freaking credit card. I might still be hustling cars at that collision shop in Marlboro. So when he did it just put a spark on me. I did nothing before the infomercial. It wasn't like I wrote a book and then I did direct mail and I did sales. I saw Tony on TV. I freaking took every dollar I had at 27, 28 years old. I did my first infomercial, went on the air 2018, 20 years ago. But 2017 or 1998 is when I did it. I sold everything. I put together about $100,000. I filmed an infomercial. Had no.
So what did you called somebody and said, "Hey, I want to get on TV."
Yeah, and here's the crazy part. I was so naive to direct response or branding or any of that I found a local production company. And I obsessed over Tony's infomercial, and there was a couple other ones out, and I said
he was selling the CD.
The big CD kit.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But the personal power.
Personal power. Yeah,
right,
I was trying to think of the name. Yeah, the personal power. So
$249.
What's that?
It was $249 or something.
Yeah. So I put together a package of my first infomercials called Motor Millions. I taught people how to flip cars because when I didn't have money, I would run ads for people. When somebody go to trade in their car and they get a way low offer and they're pissed off. So I used to run ads in the classified saying, did you get a low offer and you're pissed?
Yeah.
Let me sell it for you. And then I just make a list of all, and then I'd hustle them, and I'd make a match in the middle, right?
Pick up the $700.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
$700, $1,000 if it was a good day.
Did you need a car dealer license?
I did. You didn't need one to do that, but I got a car dealer's license. So I was hustling cars, and that was ended up bringing me a couple grand, $3-4 a month extra while I was doing all the other stuff. So my first course was Motor Millions. It's funny. I spent all this money. I had a big crew come to my house because I went from that little 300 square foot apartment, and I literally built the biggest house in my town in Marlboro, New York. First house ever. Now I look back, it was a $700,000 house, but there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I come to my front yard. I had 2 Porsches at the time, and all this from cars and real estate, right? Nothing. I never sold one bit of information in my life. And the whole crew comes, they set it up, I get dressed up, I thought I was dressed up, and I get in the front yard, they hit play. I just thought I was gonna be able to talk to the camera. Freaking went completely cotton mouth. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth.
Yeah.
Couldn't say a word. And I remember being in the bathroom like, what the fuck? You're letting yourself down. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. And I couldn't. I had to send the crew home. They came back the next day, and I filmed it. I filmed it the next day, got through it, and the show hit. And I had, here, I back up. That sounds too easy. I filmed the show and got done with it. Had zero idea what to do with it. Like now I got an infomercial.
So what were you pitching? What were you pitching to this?
A $59 course on how to wholesale cars. How to match buyers and sellers in wholesale cars. And then I taught them how to rehab it, how to make trash to treasure, and how we rehab cars. An hour
trash
and a half.
To treasures.
You can make a car look like $1 million. I listed every classified ad in the entire country. So if it was in your area, you didn't have to look it up. That's how long ago it was. It was less online, more classified ads. So the course started selling like crazy. But before that, I literally did not know how to get on camera. That's how I ended up in Phoenix. I was just going all over trying to find media buyers, and I'm like, well, what do you do next? What do you know? When you got to figure stuff out, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So we got on TV and started getting momentum, and then in 2003, I did a course called Think a Little Different to Real Estate Profits, and that course really set me in the real estate space, and it was just simple, how to get in your first deal.
So what was the challenge with buying like, I talked to, who was the dude that, he's done a bunch of infomercials. He was a shark. Kevin Harrington, he was here. And he's like, hey, infomercials are dead. And as soon as he heard it, it rung to me, I don't believe it's dead.
It's not true.
Yeah, so talk about it.
Right now, we're just ramping up. I don't want to just equate everything to money, but we're just ramping up with my new infomercial right now. We're 6 months in, and we're doing $1.2 million, $1.3 million a week, and we're only 6 months in. We'll be double that within 6 months. We'll be double that, doing it right and smart. Infomercials work. It's like saying planes don't fly. If a plane crashes, you don't go, oh man, the aerodynamics are bad. It's like something went wrong. When someone says Facebook doesn't work, social media doesn't work, TV, direct mail, it's like, no,
could be
it don't work it. You got the wrong message or wrong audience. I don't want to oversimplify it.
Yeah, because people are on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And the exact demographic that really love my stuff are still on TV. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Social media has been great to us. We've sold 250,000 books so far just on Facebook.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Like that used to take me, that was a complex process to do that on TV. Now it's a book funnel,
Right.
So I'm really having fun spending more time on social media.
So when we come back, let's talk about how social media is similar to TV.
Yeah.
What happens to TV, and I'd love to learn more about your funnels and how you take a $59.
Whatever can serve you guys. We'll do
These guys want to make some money out here. Okay?
Let's get 'em
my
going.
people, by the way, you don't have to ever apologize to my audience about money.
Okay.
I try to encourage them to talk about it constantly and a lot.
You should.
Okay.
Because money solves problems.
It solves. If you're going to have drama in your life, don't let it be finances. There's plenty of other drama.
Exactly.
Stay with us. We'll be right back on Power Players. My name's Grant Cardone, the creative founder and the author of all the material I'm about to share with you here. This is going to make you a professional salesperson. If you're new to sales, hey, welcome. If you've been around sales for a while, I'm going to bring you to a whole new level right here. And if you're an experienced salesperson, I'll promise you I will show you levels of selling that you have yet to experience. I've been around sales for 35 years now. I've been an advocate and a student for those 35 years, and I'm always open-minded to learning new things. So if you're starting a business, if you're running a business from home, if you're just starting to expand your business, maybe you have a department or division, maybe you're a sales manager, maybe you're adding salespeople to your company and you're like, look, they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to greet people. They don't know how to qualify people. They don't know how to write a customer up. Everything that you'd want to know about starting a business, running a business, expanding a business, growing a business, making sales is here for you at Cardone U. It's affordable for everyone, regardless of where you live, how much money you make, you can afford this course. It is a fraction of what it will cost you to go back to college, and I promise you this, it's 100 times better than any sales course you have ever taken, anywhere, at any time, any place. I'll promise you we're going to be here to help you. I'm excited to grow with you. I'm excited to mentor you. I'm excited to work with you at Cardone U. Take advantage of this now.
The best.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the best. In New York, when I was a kid, there was Siemens Suits. It was this Jewish guy sold suits, and his ad was always on TV. And his ad was, "My best consumer," or no, "An educated consumer is my best client." Right. So
I totally agree with that.
So for you, you're the best at what you do. It's like educate them, so when they come to you, they know you're giving them a good deal. Because when people come in naive with a check, they're still like, "Is this the right ROI? And what's the real numbers? And what's my return? And what's the exit strategy?" Teach them.
Yeah, totally.
And then when they come in and see that you're offering a better product than anybody else, they're an educated consumer, right? So I mean, I think that would be your pitch. Is like, I'm serving this because I want more educated consumers out there. Because then you'll shop with me.
Yeah, that's very interesting because when we started doing I called the lawyer up and said, look, I want to create a fund for my friends.
Yeah.
What do I need? What structure do I need for my brother, my mom, my sister? Oh, well, your mom can't invest with you. I mean. I said, well, what do you mean my mom can't? No, your mom, your sister, your brother can because he's qualified. But your mom and your sister, you can't take their money. I said, that's just dumb. Why can't my mom? That's ridiculous, right? So that's when I found out about the Reg D and the Reg A and all the stuff. And I said, okay, well, let's just create a Reg A. And she's like, no, you don't want to do that. It's very expensive and it takes forever. I said, well, what do you mean? She's like, Reg D costs you nothing, $15,000. The Reg A would cost you $500,000 to $1 million. And then I started doing some investigating. I'm like, why does Wall Street not want my sister, the 97%, to invest with me? When I know these are good deals.
Yeah.
Right? I know what it takes to get a deal.
And they don't have access or an entry point into a deal like that without someone like you.
Exactly.
Right?
So they're encouraged to buy a single family and a duplex and a fourplex and end up with 600 homes separate, if they ever get that. They're never going to do that much work, though.
Yeah.
So, I think what it is Wall Street just want all that
for
to themselves.
Of course
they're like,
they
I don't
do.
want to compete with Dean and Grant.
Yeah, exactly.
The little scrapping dudes start stealing shit from us. Okay, so let's get back to your story. How do you make a decision to spend $1 million a week, man?
It's one step at a time, right? It's like,
so what'd you start with?
$5,000 a week.
Uh-huh.
And then
so where are you, on CNBC? Or are you on CNN? Or
CNN, CNBC, the car channels, Speed Channel. Back then it was Speed Channel. If I got lucky, if I got the 5 a.m. CNBC airing, man, it would crush. It was $5,000 to buy it, but it'd bring back an ROI, And the funny part is when I first started.
And did you have money at this time? Did
pretty
you have
good money, but I was investing all of it into this. You
were pouring back in
everything. I mean, there was a time I moved to Phoenix because it was easier because there was more people in that space out in Phoenix that I found. And remember Don Lapre? Back in the day, I don't know, he was another infomercial
I know
guy.
the name.
He went out of business, and I went and hired some of his people.
That's why I forgot him.
Yeah, he went out of business. I went and hired some of his key players, right? So I'm commuting back and forth, and I'm running my infomercial marketing business in Phoenix. And I'd look at the account, and I'd hustle home. I'd go flip a house, do some cars, take $20,000, come back, plop it in the account. And I was funding the information business with the car and real estate business. And then we finally got momentum, and then I just moved out there full time. But it's one incremental step at a time. Yeah. We were spending $5,000 a week, then $20,000 a week, then $40,000 a week, then 70, then 90, and then I was telling you this before when we were sitting down, but I had a great $10-15 million a year infomercial business in the education space. Still had real estate going nonstop. And then I watched, I won't tell the whole story because it's too long, but I watched Larry King interview Joel Osteen with that sit-down Larry King set and the microphone. Man, he just asked him a really tough question. It was so compelling. I'm like, man, I want Joel's book right now. I don't want to go to the bookstore. And especially back then, it was like, I don't want to drive to a bookstore or wait 4 weeks to get it mailed. So I'm like, if Larry King would have offered that book right now, I would have bought it. So I bought the Larry King microphone. It was like $5,000. I built the set. I hired a guy to sit down, do a real interview like this. And the guy came, he was a professional host.
Where you could deliver a book
direct to the consumer.
Yeah, so you saw the problem. You observed the problem.
And no one had done a book direct to consumer. So I had him sit down with me and we did an interview. It was 2007 when the market just tanked. Obama had put $600 trillion into the market and nothing seemed to be changing and every third house was a foreclosure. I said, listen, so I said to the guy interviewing me, I said, no teleprompters, no script. It's the worst real estate market in history. I'm an infomercial guy. Just try to prove me wrong. Let's just have a real conversation about your doubts about real estate. And we just lit it up. I mean, it wasn't perfect, Graham. Like there was times when I stuttered and I didn't know when it got to the call to action for the book.
So how long was this pitch? You guys
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
No, but did you work it out for a couple hours and then take the best 30 minutes?
We filmed 31 minutes.
Wow.
There was no space.
You're like Jay-Z, man.
Yeah.
Like one take Z.
So the funny part is when it got to the call to action, I was like, I'm sitting and I go, you know what? There's no. I looked in the camera like, there's no fancy call to action. There's no announcer that's gonna tell you, wait, you get more. I got a book to show you how to not survive but thrive on the way down. And I've been doing this for 15, 20 years in real estate. Everything I know is in here. Don't be scared of this economy crusher. If you want, just call the number at the bottom of the screen. Get this book. It's $19. You can go to bookstores, or you can get it here. I said I can send you this with a bunch of bonuses because you're buying direct from me. That's transfer. That's all I did. And then I went back to the interview. And I sent it to my media buyer, the show. He's like, Dean, great interview, but it'll never work. You have no testimonials. You don't have a voiceover. You forgot to say money back guarantee. He's like, we'll run it. I'm only going to spend $3,000 on it. I said, spend 10 on it. And this is time. And this was another time I didn't have a gazillion bucks.
Right.
Like
Well, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace.
He calls me back. He goes, hey, man, you standing up? I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking standing up. What? And he's like, it's the best show we've run in 22 years. It's doing a 4-to-1. Every dollar I'd spend, it'd bring back 4 on the front. And I was used to losing money on the front but I sold good products, so people just keep buying my stuff for 3 years, right? So I was looking at ROIs that were 6 months down the road before I was profitable, and then
you were profitable that week.
I was profitable that week.
Wow.
And within I don't know, within as fast as I could ramp up, within 9 weeks we were selling 8,000 books a week. You know, at $1 million a week in sales. Just
wow.
It was like, you know,
this
hold
is what,
on.
2007,
2007 to 2000. You know, 2007. It just, and now the market's tanking.
Why do you think the market responded to that at that time?
Because in hindsight, you know, especially marketing on infomercials, you're not marketing to a niche. Today, people who market, you guys have it so freaking easy. You go to Facebook, you can say, I want pregnant moms who like peanut butter and jelly who make 80 grand a year. Back then, I'm just casting a big net. I'm hoping someone walks by the TV and likes Dean Graziosi. Doesn't think I'm too Italian or something.
That's still what I do. These guys try to talk to me about all the...
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, dude,
I just talk to everybody. Just turn
cast the big net.
Yeah, cast the big net.
These guys in here doing algorithms and studies, and I'm like, you guys don't know what you're doing. By the way, you know, I saw what you drove up in. So, you know, they don't know. I think some of that's bullshit. Do you?
I do too. I do too. I mean, listen, it's nice to go after niche markets if that's what you want to do, but I was casting a big net. I'm going after the whole freaking country.
Yeah.
So what I think, Grant, and I think this is something you do intuitively, and I've been obsessing. I started a 100K a year mastermind. I started it 2 years ago, and I'll digress here, but man, when you charge somebody 100 grand to see you twice a year, right? You got to really extract what it is you do. We sold out literally in 4 days. We started with 25 people, put 25 people in 4 days, closed it up. But it's helped me really look back over my life and say, what made me successful on infomercials? What made me successful in marketing?
Yeah, you mean when you're delivering to them?
Yeah, when you're delivering. I mean, we're unconscious competence. You know what I mean? We just know how to do it. So I've been digging into it, and when I look back on that infomercial, we cast such a big net. I was feeling the emotion of the country. The market just crashed. You know, when the market's crashing, people don't give a shit about the boats and the cars. They want to freaking make sure they're not like their neighbor in foreclosure. So my presentation while we were going down is like, listen, this is a scary time. You can't rely on anybody. It's the government. That $600 million is not going to end up in your bank account. Let's help you understand. And all I taught was wholesaling on the way down. No fix and flip, no buy and hold. I said, buy and hold, you buy now, it'll be down here by the time you buy and be screwed. Fix and flip, you're losing money on the way down. Wholesaling, just lock up good deals and hand them off to cash buyers at a discount.
So explain what wholesaling is so everybody understands.
So what we taught the whole way down was better marketing to find deals. So wherever the market is, if you figure if the market's crashing, but you still can buy 30% below the market because you're not looking at the MLS. We're doing unique marketing, direct mail pieces. We're doing all these ways to find cash-owned buyers, cash-owned houses where the people are desperate to sell, people who are scared as the market went down.
So is that where the ad, the poster I see on the telephone post, it says, hey, we buy ugly houses?
That's I teach that. They're ugly bandit signs.
Yeah.
And what happens is you get people that are in foreclosure, don't want to tell anybody, or they got left a house, or they own it for cash. And wholesaling is just locking up a house and handing it off to a landlord or handing it off to somebody who
So my job is to find that Johnny wants to sell his house.
Yeah.
He's in trouble.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go market the contract that I have.
Exactly.
So I don't actually own the house.
Don't. You lock it up on contract, and I put it, Dean Graziosi,
the
and/or a
arbitrage,
signee. And/or a signee. I come to you and say, Grant, you're used to spending 100 grand for these houses. I got one for 95.
Yeah, that doesn't work in my space.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, I can't go to Fidelity and say, hey.
But you see why the momentum happened is because I'm the real estate guy, and I said, don't do real estate right now. We don't know when it's going to stop, but wholesale. And here's how you find landlords. Here's how you find cash buyers. Here's how you find funds that are used to buying on the way down, and you can supply them properties. Well, we crushed it.
The other thing that, you know, when people were sucking in and backing up and retreating in 2008, you were figuring out a way to be creative.
Exactly. And the cool part, all my competitors were gone. There was Carlton Sheets. There was all these guys talking about no money down. I'm like, no money down is there's no bank going to give you money. It's done.
100% financing. I mean, you had to put 100% down to get a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a bank. I had 50 million with a bank in San Diego National Bank, and I had 4 deals, and they called me up and said, "Hey, you know, we're a little worried about." I said, "You're not worried about me? I pay every month. What are you really worried about?" I knew something was wrong. Yeah. It was 2007 April, and I said, "What's really wrong? Because I'm not the problem."
Yeah.
And I hung up the phone, and I'm like, "Man, they might be in trouble."
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, 6 months later, they were taken over. I don't know, you know what happened with
all the banks.
But what happened was this guy, the guy that owned that bank, wanted to infuse the bank with 200 million. The government wouldn't let him. Instead, the government gave another bank in Minnesota $550 million, U.S. taxpayer money,
Wow.
to take over that guy's bank. That guy was willing to fund it. So as soon as the new bank came in, they're like, "Hey, we need you to pay up." And I said, "What? That's not going to happen
not
today,
gonna happen
right?
today. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a check for $50 million right here." And they're like, "Yeah, you're in technical default. Your net worth's changed." I said, "I've made every payment on time. I've never been late." "Yeah, but your net worth changed." I said, "Dude, the whole world's net worth changed. Like, that's ridiculous." But I learned that really, the banks, those big powerhouses, man, they have little things in the contract. You could never read this much.
Yeah.
That say, "Hey, we could take this thing over anytime we want to." So I didn't lose it, and I basically started escrowing the payments. I cut them off from payments.
Yeah.
I started escrowing.
That was a
when you guys get your shit together,
straight.
exactly. When you quit trying to freaking bully me around, then I'll start paying you again. So.
Yeah, so that's the time where it was. So on that way down, I started teaching wholesaling, and I built in an insecure economy. I gave them security, and then when the economy changed, again, casting this big net, is the feeling is all of a sudden now we got to the bottom, it was kind of flat, and people were kind of complacent, like, "I'm just glad that I'm okay."
Right,
and I was
right.
like, now my message went from, stop being freaking okay. Really, did you choose life to live an okay, even a good life?
Yeah.
You want your friends to say, "How's your relationship?" "Ah, it's good." "How's your income?" "Ah, it's good." Fuck good, for lack of a better word, right? So now I was kicking people like, "Hey, you got through the shitstorm. Now it's time to freaking hustle. This is when money's made." So that was the new message. But now, now we have momentum. Now the message is, all right, you got through that. Now we're here. Let's get to this next level. Let's get the house.
Yeah, and that's what you're talking about today. Today you're
aspirational.
Yeah,
we're aspirational.
I wondered, and I told you in my office, why is this dude changing over to this aspiration message?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. It's something, especially because
How old are you?
50.
Okay.
50 this year.
Right.
I'm 40.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably just a thing.
I swore that I would not have something, important to say. I used to tell my mom this. I said, "I'm not going to have anything important to say until I'm 50 years old."
Yeah, I get. No, it's true. It's true, and you don't realize it until you're there. If you told my 35-year-old self that, I'd say, "Piss off."
Yeah, exactly. So what's the aspiration about? Why that? Why are you shifting to that?
The main thing is, I love supplying, and I still sell. We're still probably one of the top real estate trainers on the planet, but you got to go upstream. Like for me, I wrote Millionaire Success Habits because I realized you could give somebody a business on how to sell $20 bills for $10 and they'd still screw it up. Right? They'd get in their own way. They'd stumble over their own feet. Their friends would say, "Oh, that can't be real. Oh, that guy's a scam that you saw him on Instagram. He's a scam." All that shit. They let it go, and then they go back to a life they freaking hate. I never get it. So my obsession on the last couple of years, especially, is how do I go upstream? I kind of looked at all the things that I luckily got over, and how I got there, and there was a study of a lot of great people around me, and I just wanted to give people the rules for success, so then you can plug in anything. Kind of going upstream a little, and then having the ability to also give people real estate, to maybe work with great people like you and say, "Listen, I got this tribe," which this tribe is growing massively, because we really just started on Instagram in the last literally 4 or 5 months, but we still see 10,000, 20,000 people a month in live events through my infomercial. So we have this massive wave. Now we're transitioning. So we got this great group of people wanting the next level, and I want to guide them in the right space. So I just figured success was a bigger pond to fish in.
How do you see what's your play out? I mean, how do you play out your life?
For the next 25, say?
Yeah. I mean, what are you looking to do?
You're
selling the houses.
Yep, selling the houses.
Okay.
I'm going to do multifamily, so we'll be chatting after this.
Okay.
So, I've been looking. I got 4 that my team's kind of looking at right now.
How big are the deals?
One's 100 is the smallest, and one's 270 doors.
Okay.
But that's a new world to me.
I'll help you as much help as you want. I love the space. It doesn't even matter whether I'm in the deal.
Yeah.
I love those deals. So
they're
great
deals,
a guy that loves deals.
I started a company called growth.com, which is growing really fast. It's high performance training. So that's growing really great. I mean, it's a tough space when you teach people to be a high performer. People know dimes to dollars. Like, hey, if I give you 10 grand for coaching and I do one deal, I'm good. I give you 10 grand for coaching and I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be more excited. That's a different pitch. You know that. You're in sales.
Totally.
But we perfected that sale, and that company, we're only a couple years in. We'll break $20 million a year in that company this year.
Wow.
And that's growing really strong. And that's a company that doesn't need Dean Graziosi. It's growth. And that's kind of what we're doing now. I got another company that my mastermind company is doing great. We got 2 high-level masterminds that are both sold out. But I'm enjoying making an impact, more than ever, because it's like knowledge turns into wisdom, I think, at this age. And you just want to come on, man, this is so easy. I don't want to oversimplify, but making money, literally is the easiest part of my life. And you know you can help people with that, because when you get money out of the way, you start being a better version of you.
Yeah,
I'm a better dad because my dad had to worry about money. I don't. I get to
Yeah.
coach Little League and softball and do all those things. I couldn't have done it
Yeah.
if the money wasn't there. You know?
Yeah. How important is sales to a person's
Everything.
success?
It's the oxygen. Every company that thinks everybody that thinks Field of Dreams is a reality, that they build it, it'll come.
Yeah.
They end up on the freaking skids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Sales is everything. It's not sales and marketing. Without it, you have nothing. You know what people do is there's the outliers. It's somebody who creates a book or creates a product and sells 1 million without doing anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's 1 out of 100 million people. That's the fugazi if you're Italian. That's the fake.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah.
Companies that make it, just like you sell and you push, and the companies that really make it are the ones that love what they do. I know you love what you do, so selling's easy because you know
Yeah.
you're screwing people if you don't get them to say yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
not, what are they going to do?
Totally.
They're going to go to someone else and get an inferior product or do nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I lean into every presentation I do. I talk about, if you're afraid of sales, let's get over that right now. Let's get through that right now because
Yeah.
you're screwing yourself.
How important is money to the equation? You brought it up a number of times. I saw you pull away from it once.
Yeah.
But just talk about, like, how important is it, and then what's the number?
Like the number, like to have.
Like, is there a target? Like in everything else, I had a guy tell me, we were doing an event, and he's like, I don't have a target on money. I'm like, he's in the body business. I said, well, you gonna train me like that? Like I'm gonna come into your gym. Are you gonna have a target on my biceps, my little tiny biceps?
Exactly.
And he's like, oh well, yeah. I said, well then why wouldn't you have one on money? What's the target?
Yeah.
What should people have in America to live comfortably, to not have to worry?
Year, or
I don't. How many different ways can you measure?
yeah, I don't know, a couple $100,000 a year. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know about you. There's a certain number where money, my lifestyle hasn't changed in probably 12 or 13 years. No matter if I made this or this, it's been kind of the same. But there's that. I would say the definition of that is when money is no longer a problem. Like the biggest, I have to say the biggest change when everybody says, what was the difference? You met all these great people, you've been on TV, fly around in your jet, like you do all this stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it was like when I never thought about money again. Like when it was never an issue. Retire my mom, buy her a new house, move her, no problem. My mom's doesn't like it, move it, dude. Like when you never said, well, let's look at the account. Maybe we could budget that in. When that was gone, and I have to tell you, we all have our own shit from childhood.
Yeah.
When money was completely out of the way, is the time I really dug in for me.
We're able to work on yourself.
Yeah, like from whatever your choice is, but we all got stuff that we tuck down and it's in there, and then it's like now I get the chance to work on me, read the right books, meet the right people. It's like 20% of my time is being a better version of me, which you never.
You
do
think
that
you're a
when
better
I was-
guy with money than you are without it?
Hands down, not even
Without a
question.
doubt, everybody's
It's not
like,
even like
money.
listen,
Money's gonna make you bad, dude. Money is gonna give you a chance to be a decent human being.
Exactly. Money allows you to expose the real you, and sometimes the real you might be shitty because you've been avoiding stuff for so many years. You could work on it. Dan Sullivan owns Strategic Coach. I've been going to him for like 10 years. Good dude. Trains entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I'm in his yearly thing.
I know. He's a copyright guy, right?
No. Dan Sullivan is more like the entrepreneur whisperer.
Okay.
He just trains entrepreneurs on how to create systems and go faster. He's awesome. I've been in it for 10 years. It's like $50,000 a year to be a part of it. And he's a freaking badass. And he said it best. He said, people who say, money's evil, they haven't made enough or haven't given enough away.
Yeah.
And he said, but secondly, if you can cut, and remember, you should write this down because I live by this. If you could cut a check for the problem, you don't have a problem.
That's right.
You worry about your parents
Yeah,
because
but
they don't have
different
enough
bro-
money,
you can go
cut them a
focus on-
check,
Yeah.
parents are done. You're worried about your kids someday when you're not here, you cut a check, that worry goes off.
Yeah.
You're worried about retirement, put $1 million away or whatever the number is, you're done.
Yeah.
Like those worries go away.
Yeah.
Like, and you're probably saying, well, I'll go to a fundraiser for the kids playing baseball, and they're like, how are we going to raise it? We're going to do things. I'm like, I'll just cut a check. Can we just get the kids the uniforms and I'll
Yeah.
pay for the field to get done.
Yeah.
Like the problem's done. I
It's
don't even
hot
wanna
out
fucking
here,
talk
man.
about it. It's hot.
You were just
I wanna-
trying to solve the heat
I want to
problem.
I want to go hang out with my kids. I don't want to talk about this shit. And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
say that
yeah.
to be like aloof. It
Yeah.
is what it is. Money solves problems.
Yeah.
And you get to, I think,
So what's the number?
For
that
me
solves the
or
problem.
for-
Yeah. What's the jet first of all? What jet do you own?
Oh no, I had a Hawker 400.
Okay.
I don't have
all
what
right.
you have. I love
Okay.
that jet though.
Okay. Yeah.
I got to put that on the list. I think I got a new. You said I inspired
Yeah.
you. You got me inspired.
Yeah. No,
I saw when you were
it's a beast.
talking.
I don't
about it.
get
That
it
thing
till
is amazing.
I don't get it till August yet.
And you took a global to.
Yeah, that's
Europe?
my brother's plane. I took he's chartering that, so I
Oh,
used
that's
it
nice
to go
plane.
over
Yeah,
there.
I was on. Tony's got a global.
Yeah, I don't
They're
love that
awesome.
plane personally, but anyway, I like these 26-inch windows.
Yeah.
I like those big freaking
Yeah,
Gulfstream windows. So, I mean, that was, for me, like where I grew up, the idea, the first time I was in a jet was a jet I bought. I had never flown private, ever. I didn't net jet, charter, nothing, okay? Johnny's been in the jet. He's been in my jet more than he's been on a commercial airline.
That's awesome.
So that was fun watching him.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, he saw the mountains in California for the first time, you know? So it's really, as you know, it's great.
Well, and I have to be honest with you, though,
Yeah.
like even me, I was only on like 2 jets before I got mine.
Yeah,
And the way you see through Johnny's eyes, right? It's Johnny, right?
yeah.
I was like that every time I got on my plane. I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's not a monster plane, it's a little
Yeah,
7-seater, but
yeah,
I could fly
yeah.
from west to east coast without stopping.
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
back, I'd have to get gas halfway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, if I catch a good wind. But every time I got on it, I have to be honest, like I'd pull in, I'm like, oh my God, this is mine.
Dude,
so when
happiest moment in my entire
I'm
life.
like, when are they going to figure out I'm not that smart? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
the
mean?
happiest moment in my entire life, including my marriage, I mean, I know I'm going to get heat for this. Having the kids was freaking unbelievable, okay? But that first flight that I took on my plane was the freaking single happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, I can't believe I did this. And I get to bring the kids, and I get to bring my wife, and, you know, so.
And then you start seeing the freedom of that and the time savings.
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah.
and a jet's a whole nother level. But I just think, money is when you don't worry about it anymore and when you make it, because, I mean, I'm sure the same with you. Listen, there's a number for everybody. But I love the next accomplishment. I love tackling the shit that no one thinks you can do, right? That's, I mean, because when you were young, you were crazy. My whole family thought I was nuts. I was insane. I was, you know, and then I remember when I try something. Yeah, when I try something new and failed. Yeah. Your friends like, I knew it wasn't going to work. And then if you tried something that worked, like lucky bastard.
Dude, yeah.
Lucky bastard. Like, it was either lucky bastard or idiot. There was nothing in between.
Right.
Now everybody's like, hey, Dean, how do I, you know, it's like.
I always knew you were going to make it.
I always knew, exactly. I had your back, bro.
Okay, this is good, man. This is good. Look, you guys got to get yourself in a position and should be on your bucket list to come sit in this chair.
Absolutely.
That means you got to do something.
Absolutely.
You got to take some risk. This guy used the word momentum. I bet you used it 9 times. Okay, what do you mean as we close out? What do you mean by momentum?
Momentum is you got to start. You got to jump in. You got to not be afraid of failure, not listen to other people, because even if you fail 5 times, it's like playing golf and you have 5 shitty holes and all of a sudden you birdie one. It's the momentum to keep wanting to play. It's the same in life. Like you need to fail and fail forward and keep going, because when you see that little glimpse or the one deal or the sales go better because you listen to this guy, or you invest in a multi-unit, all of a sudden you get that first check, or you close twice as many deals, that's momentum. And the thing is, just don't get complacent with that momentum. Like momentum breeds momentum.
You got to get more, man.
And because
momentum is like a mama.
Right,
she
but
needs
you know what the
attention.
second thing is though? Is people listen to people who are confident. Momentum causes you to have internal confidence that you can't put a number on. You know, when's the last time you made a good decision insecure? Get momentum, get confidence, and freaking go after it.
Awesome. Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you sharing. Follow this dude. I'm sure he's got another book coming out. Okay. Look for him on TV. Look for him on Instagram. Okay. And we're going to have more people like this guy in the chair. I want it to be you, though, okay? I'm putting it on your bucket list since you didn't put it on your own. I want you to be on Power Players. I want you to come here and tell people what you did that worked, what you did that didn't work, and how you can be a great example for other people. Thanks for watching today. If you don't have more money coming in, whether it's an individual or a business, you cannot save more money and you will never have money to invest. I want to help you in this webinar, show you how to increase your income, how to find customers that will pay you more money. I want to invite you to come to my How to Increase Your Income webinar. This is the most important thing I've done in my entire career. Who does the best webinars in the world? Grant Cardone does, and everybody knows it. $10 million to put on this event, somewhere around $10 million, probably over that, I just don't want to admit it.
No one fills up a stadium with 35,000 people for personal development.
They're not only coming back, it's growing.
So to be here and to be able to listen to several, you're going to get so much information.
And I think what
Grant Cardone has done maybe better than any person in the world is he has empowered people. He's 10x them.
The fact that Grant is around all these people, I know he's doing something right.
We just came from Poland, from Romania.
Coming all the way from Israel.
I'm from Italy. We are very excited to see Grant Cardone.
I've been following Grant for about 6 months, and it's been the craziest 6 months of my life.
Ever since I started following Grant, my money's doubled.
We've had 300% growth in our business. In 1 year, we've increased our sales by $250,000.
A few years ago, I was in a car accident. I hit a tree at 120 miles an hour. I woke up not knowing 10 years of my life, so I was lost. I went from just being a leasing consultant with a $25,000 income, now I'm making 6 figures, and it wouldn't have been possible without Grant Cardone.
Something's really wrong with Grant. He's so crazy, man, but his craziness is so compelling. I'm attracted to crazy people because in order to be successful, it's got to be something wrong with you.
It's possible to live your dream if you work hard, if you're consistent, if you follow the Cardones.
But you can no longer afford to play small, to think small, or to act small.
So you guys could leave here and say, I just went to the best conference I've ever been to.